This is what China wants you to see: a calm and efficient handling of the pandemic that ravaged the world. But this is the truth, or the real picture that we need to see. Crematoriums across China straining to deal with an influx of bodies. Hello and welcome to India Today. I'm Anjali Istaval. China is battling a wave of COVID cases that authorities have admitted is impossible to track. Hospitals are struggling and pharmacy shelves have been stripped bare in the wake of the Chinese government's sudden decision last month to lift nearly 3 years of lockdowns, quarantines and mass testing. China's zero COVID policy involved extremely restrictive measures to deal with any surge in cases. Every known case, even asymptomatic, was mandatorily hospitalized. Small outbreaks triggered hard lockdowns, and suspected cases and all their contacts were kept under long isolation. Foreign travelers had to undergo 10 days of isolation. The COVID restrictions in China were so severe that people were forced to step out and protest, leading to violent clashes with the security forces. All they were asking for was easing of COVID restrictions, but it seems China decided to just abruptly stop all restrictions and let the pandemic take its natural course. In Chongqing, one crematorium claimed that they had run out of spaces to keep bodies. This is a city of 30 million people where authorities this week urged people with mild COVID symptoms to go to work. Staff members of such crematoriums are claiming there is no more cold storage space for the dead bodies constantly streaming in. Although there is no confirmation if these are COVID deaths, but the sudden rise in deaths during the COVID spread is questionable. In the southern metropolis of Guangzhou, one crematorium in Zhengzheng district told AFP they were cremating over 30 bodies a day. Another crematorium in the city said they were 3 or 4 times busier than the previous years and that they were cremating over 40 bodies per day, while earlier it was only a dozen or so. Although they keep stressing that it was hard to say whether the surge in bodies was linked to COVID. Beijing is clearly underreporting its COVID crisis. According to the WHO, China on 19 December reported only 74 deaths and 20,958 confirmed cases, while on 20th December, WHO dashboard shows only 69 deaths and 16,555 confirmed cases in China. How can it be possible with visuals like these showing more than a dozen vehicles waiting to enter crematoriums? It's clear that these vehicles are carrying bodies of deceased citizens. Delays in entering the crematorium were obvious, with the drivers complaining of having waited several hours. The strict COVID measures that China made its citizens adhere to were painful, but they were effective in stopping the virus's spread for 3 years. However, it also meant that a large portion of the population had never been infected by the virus and thus lacked natural immunity, making them extremely vulnerable. As a result, once the virus was able to breach the defenses, as it occasionally did, it spread rapidly throughout the population. That is what happened in March and April of this year, when China experienced a surge in cases for the first time. And now, with low natural immunity, low levels of vaccination and callous government, the people are completely defenseless against the virus. But why should we be worried about China's COVID crisis? How does it affect us? Well, while the surge has remained confined to China, there are concerns that it may spread to other countries as international travel has returned to pre-COVID levels. The possibility of virus evolving into more dangerous variants is an even greater concern, given the high numbers of infections in China. The more the virus spreads, the more it mutates. And there is always a chance that one of those mutations could become more infectious or more virulent. Although China is restricting the outflow of information related to COVID deaths, but the world is concerned. It is worried, as it could impact us all. China merely says that the end to mandatory testing has made the toll of China's COVID surge difficult to track. China last week admitted it is now impossible to tally the full scale of the sick. Do tell us what you think about this video in the comment section, and for more news updates, subscribe to India Today.